You want the hard truth? Here's the hard truth. It's going to get worse. It will get worse. It has to get worse before it gets better. Then I'll tell you why. Because it's not going to get better by appealing to politicians, and it's not going to get better by begging your slave masters for a little more. It just won't. And people are waking up to realize that. And that's the hard part, okay? Waking up is the hard part, because let's talk about the difference between a physical addiction and a psychological addiction. I've been addicted to many things in my life, physical and psychological. And the hardest of them was easily, by far, the psychological addiction of crack, cocaine, heroin. Even though I was awake for 2 weeks straight with no sleep, no food, barely enough water to keep me alive, that was infinitely easier, even though my guts were trying to exit through every hole in my body, and I was shaking with cold while I was burning up. Even though I had a seizure, that was easier, because you know why? My mind did not depend on the substance. Does your mind depend on the protection of a government? Most people's do. Most do. And you know, it's become so ingrained in us. I want you to try and picture your existence without government intervention. I believe it to be impossible for you, because government has put itself in every single aspect of your life. And I want you to know that when a government does that, they control you. And I know that you don't want to be controlled, and I know that you're controlled. And that's why it's going to get worse before it'll get better. Because we, the people, have yet to stand up. We're only talking about it. We're only talking. And centuries of history have shown us that talking avails us nothing. They don't listen to words because they don't care. I know that you've dealt with at least one abusive person in your life, at least one psychopath, at least one narcissist who you could appeal to them for their common decency, but it just didn't matter, right? You know that person. That's government. And to make it worse, it's not just one person. Okay, that one person you can kind of corner and say, don't you have a conscience? Where's your conscience? And the more adaptable psychopaths will fake a conscience at that point, right? I know a lot of people have seen that. But here's the thing. Government, they don't need to do that. They don't even feel compelled or shamed into doing so, because they can just push it up the chain of command. It doesn't matter what evils they commit, because those evils will always fall back on a higher authority than themselves. So they justify it in their mind as though those evils were not even ever committed. I saw a video yesterday of, I think he was a World War II vet. He looked old enough to be. And he was discussing his time, his experience signing up for the military, and he was asked, will you have a problem killing people? Hold on, I gotta see if this person needs help. All right, some guy shredded his tire, and I wanted to make sure he was gonna be okay. There we go. All right, so where was I? I forget. We were talking about getting worse before it gets better. I don't remember what I was talking about just a second ago, so I'll just riff on my original topic. It will get worse because we are going to eventually have to stand up, and we're going to have to start saying no to these people. And a lot of us are going to end up being put in jail. And we just gotta... Jail's not that bad, okay? It's not. It's not. I mean, it sucks. But here's the thing. They can't jail us all. But here's the problem, okay? As long as you are paying them, you are consenting. And it has been so ingrained in us that taxes are almost a moral or religious thing. That's why it's tax season, right? You have tax season. It's just like a ritual, okay? And rituals are hard to break. That goes back to the psychological addiction issue. Is that something? See, people would rather continue doing that ritual, even knowing they're being robbed, just because it's what everybody else does. It's the right thing to do, isn't it? And that's a psychological addiction. And here's another reason it'll get worse. Most people don't have the capacity to give up that addiction, nor do they want to. They would much rather live as slaves, as comfortable slaves, than as irritated free men and women. I mean, you can see that all around you, and COVID was the litmus test for that. People are still wearing masks. And I want you to invest in your own pattern recognition. It will save your life. It will save your life time and time again. That's the only reason I'm still alive, is thanks to my ability to recognize patterns. And I want you to look at the eyes of the people behind those masks. They're terrified. Terrified of what? Terrified why? And what started that terror? What sparked that terror? It's the fear of death. But death isn't real, guys. I mean, the human process of death, of course, is real. We all experience it. If not externally, we all experience it once ourselves. We're going off into the weeds. That's another song for another concert. I've had a near-death experience, and it really has shifted my view on death. But that's really what everybody's afraid of, and there's no reason for it. I mean, would you really, on your deathbed, which let's just assume we all will experience, do you really want to look back and say, I let these people rule me, and I let them tell me what to fear, and I let them take my money to give to psychopaths, to murder innocent people? I can't play that game anymore, you know? And I think a lot of people are waking up to that. But here's the real meat of it. When it comes down to it, those in control, doesn't matter what fractal, level it is, if it's in control of a home, in control of a city, it doesn't matter. Those in control will do anything to maintain control. Anything. A good example, see, these people need power like you need air. What happens when a person is drowning? What do? Even if their mother, their son, their brother, their best friend is out there next to them, and this person is drowning, what will they do? They will take the other person down with them without a second thought. The people that you're up against act the same way towards losing power as the drowning person does towards losing air. And so, when the slaves wake up, what happens when the slaves wake up? We're whipped more. That's what happens. That's why 2020 happened. One of the reasons. It's multifaceted, but one of the main reasons is that people were starting to wake up. Right? We had, and it's been memory hold, but we had what's it called? Occupy Wall Street. Remember that? And then 2020 came around, and everybody who was a rebel became the bad guy. Right? If you didn't wear a mask, if you didn't stand on a dot, they were literally keeping us information. That's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, I've been rambling for 11 minutes. Have a great day.